Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm doing another Q&A video where I take your questions from Twitter and I answer them all in this video. Now, in today's Q&A video, we've got a lot of amazing questions about some of the upcoming hidden content, what we can be expecting with gun running, and a whole lot more. So let's not waste any more time, and let's jump straight into the first questions today. A ton of people were asking when the Duke of Death is going to be added into Grand Theft Auto Online. I mean, I got multiple questions about that, so I'm sorry if your name wasn't shown on the screen. Literally about 30% of the questions involved the Duke of Death. Now, I'm imagining the reason so many people are interested in the Duke of Death is for a couple reasons. Number one, out of all the returning player bonus content, it's the one that has been kept from Grand Theft Auto Online. Like, for me, the fact that the Dukes is going to become free or the Stallion will become free is not that big of a deal. That isn't an issue at all. I've had them forever. I've had the Dodo Seaplane forever. I don't really care about that. So for me and many others, the real only vehicle that people are interested in is the Duke of Death. And the fact that it's also going to be free is another bonus, but it's also one of the best armored vehicles in the game. If you watch my testing video, which I'll try to leave a link to in the description, you know that it is so awesome. It's fast. It can survive so many bullets and explosions. It's crazy. However, the big question, when is it coming out? I think it's going to be releasing when all the other content is going to be arriving for the player bonuses. So what I mean by that is I don't think that the Duke of Death is just going to release one day on its own. I think that when Rockstar decides to add the Stallion and the Dodo Seaplane and the Kraken into the game, that they're going to combine the Duke of Death into that as well in terms of one conglomerate. I don't think they're going to be released individually. That would really take far too long, and I would be so surprised if Rockstar decided to end up doing that. Now, my prediction is that Rockstar is going to do that once all of the unreleased cars are in the game. So we've got two left. We've got the Infernus and the Turismo. So my best guess is once those vehicles are released as kind of a surprise at the very end, Rockstar will release the Duke of Death and all the other returning player bonus content. So get hyped for that. It might be a couple weeks, so don't be surprised if that's the case. But I know I'm definitely excited for the Duke of Death and all the other content that's going to be coming as well. Now, moving on to the second question, we got two of them. This first one comes from Charlie, who says, why do you think Rockstar are doing some very weird event weeks such as Tuesday to Wednesday instead of the normal Tuesday? And then we have a question from James C, who says, will the pattern continue for the new unreleased cars coming on Tuesday, etc., or will Rockstar mix it up? So I'm going to answer you first, James. I believe that in just 2 short days, or whenever watching this video on Tuesday, that the Infernus Classic is going to be added into online. So I think that's going to be the next unreleased vehicle, and it'll be coming out in just a few short days. Now, I'm not sure what Rockstar has plans to do alongside that, if that's going to be the only thing they add in the game, or if they'll do like an adversary mode or something else. I'm not entirely too sure. But getting back to your question, Charlie, yeah, I don't understand it either. Rockstar are doing some very weird event patterns right now, and that's not the only thing that's weird either. The premium race and the time trial, they end and start on like different days. It is super weird because they end at different times from the bonuses, and Rockstar just unannouncedly dropped the new car, the Rustin, last Tuesday. So that's why I think this Tuesday we're going to be getting the Infernus, and then sometime later on in the week they'll like update the tunables again. I don't know. It's so weird, but I'm glad you mentioned that, Charlie, because I thought I was the only one who thought the pattern that they were doing was kind of odd. All right, let's move on to some questions regarding gun running. This first question comes from Holden, who says, can we expect to get the Railgun in gun running DLC? So Holden, I hope that we do get the Railgun. However, I think Rockstar is going to troll us with this. So we know that some of the missions we're going to be doing are going to be supply runs for ammo, guns, and I'm assuming like military gear. My prediction is that the Railgun is going to be one of those vehicles that you have to get for the mission, but that we're ultimately never going to be able to use. Now, the reason I say that is because Rockstar did that with a bunch of vehicles with the import-export missions. I think there was one of them where you used the Wastelander and you put vehicles on the back of it. One of those vehicles was the Space Docker, which we obviously don't have in the game. And another one was the Go-Go Monkey Ballista. Rockstar's just teasing us, trolling us, saying, haha, this content is online, but you can't use it. So I'm imagining that's going to be the same way with that, but it would be a great surprise and really awesome if they did actually allow us to use the Railgun in the gun running DLC. Moving on, we have another question from Nex, who says, are we getting advanced weapon customization like camo paints and attachments? Now, I don't think Rockstar is going to go full Call of Duty here, where we can like make our own custom paint jobs and do all these sorts of crazy attachments. But I do think there needs to be a little bit more sophisticated weapon customization than just like the attachments that we have and the paint job we can put on there. I think that the luxury camouflages was a step in the right direction with some of the weapons that we have right now, but I want to see some cool stuff. I want to see some cool like military style camo or some like attachments and accessories that we don't see in the game right now that they could apply there. I mean, if the DLC is going to be called Gunrunning and there isn't anything new to do with guns, to me, that's going to be a little bit disappointing. So I hope Rockstar finds that nice balance there where they do add some pretty cool stuff into the game as far as weapons and guns go. Moving on, we have another question from Robert who says, do you think Rockstar will add a missile defense system to certain vehicles? I'm tired of getting shot down just for flying around. Robert, I feel your pain. And yeah, I hope Rockstar does something. I've talked about the idea of adding flares to helicopters and jets in the game, and we kind of have that system already during the CEO exporting missions. If you use a Titan, there's actually a way in which you can like jam people from locking onto you, so that could actually be cool too. Not necessarily a flare system, but just a way that will allow you to escape, at least for a little bit, from missiles that are actually shooting at you. That could be pretty awesome. Vice versa, it would also be nice to see some anti-air defense systems added in this update too. So for example, if you've got a guy in a Hydra who's just terrorizing the lobby, you could get one of these anti-air vehicles out and you could take him out a little bit easier. I think that could be a really nice addition to the Gunrunning DLC itself. Moving on, we have a question from Alu who says, do you think that the military DLC will include the cargo plane for the arms military vehicle exporting? I think that would be awesome. In a lot of my live streams recently, we've been playing around with the cargo plane, putting vehicles inside of them, and it's totally doable. I mean, we can role play like that in single player and on an online lobby, so who's to say Rockstar couldn't use the cargo plane for something like that? I think it would be awesome. Only problem with the cargo plane is it's so big, you literally need like the entire airport to take off. So I wonder if Rockstar would think that that's a little bit too out of the way in order to try and implement in the Gunrunning DLC, and they might think it's just way too much for them to try and do. Moving on, we have a question from Melvin who says, what kinds of military aircraft would you like to see in the Gunrunning DLC? I'd like to see the Osprey in Grand Theft Auto Online. That would be a cool one, Melvin. Another one I could see being added that would be awesome would be the Hunter helicopter. I'd also like to see the Rustler make its return from GTA San Andreas. Also, the Sea Sparrow from Vice City, which is basically a helicopter that can land on land and in water. It's actually really cool. So I hope we get at least 4 to 5 good military-style helicopters and aircrafts, and I want some unique ones as well, like an Osprey gunner would be pretty cool. So that's a really good idea right there, Melvin. Up next, we have a question from YT Bros, who says, how much money do you think we need at least for the next DLC? So he used the word at least there. So I'm going to switch this up because I've already given a prediction on how much money I think you're going to need to buy everything, which, to give you guys just the long story short, I would say about 50 to 60 million. That's my high-end prediction. But at a minimum, we don't really know. There's so little information known on this update. We know that bunkers are a thing that's been found, so it's likely that in order to participate in the missions, you're going to need to get some bunkers. It would also make sense that you would require some new military vehicles in order to complete the missions a little bit easier, so you probably have to buy 2 to 3 of those. There's probably going to be new clothing and haircuts that you'll want to invest in as well. So I can see probably about $5 to $10 million if you just want to scrape by and buy the bare minimum to participate in this update. But certainly if you want everything, I would still stand by my prediction of anywhere from 50 to 60 million for what you're going to need for the Gunrunning DLC. All right, moving on, we got a question from my friend Knifeguy who says, can you see Rockstar ever bringing back the special crates with beer hats, special t-shirts, ground fireworks, etc.? That would be awesome. Those are some of the coolest things ever. I remember way back in the day with my friends just lobby hopping, going from session to session, trying to find one where a special crate was about to drop, and then getting the rare items inside, like you mentioned, beer hats, special t-shirts. I thought that was so fun, and I think that Rockstar could ultimately do something similar like that with the Gunrunning update. So with the Gunrunning DLC, if we can imagine the hypothetical world of Grand Theft Auto Online, I think it would be cool if randomly throughout lobbies, Merryweather or Fort Zancudo dropped a military package somewhere randomly in the world. And the first person that got to it would get the goods of the military package, which might be like a free ammo refill for all your weapons or free body armor refill, which could actually be worth like $10,000 to $20,000. So that could actually be pretty cool. I would love it if Rockstar did something kind of dynamic that made the lobbies feel a little bit more realistic, again, here in Grand Theft Auto Online. So that would be really amazing. I hope that they do something like that. And our final question today comes from Dean, who says, do you have any idea why Rockstar Games gives me $250,000 in Grand Theft Auto Online? I've gotten this about 6 times already. Well, luckily for you, if you've gotten it 6 times, that's what, $1.5 million you've gotten for free from Rockstar. And I've said this in the past. I think that Rockstar's system is broken and that they're kind of like that grandparent that doesn't know when your birthday is, so they just send you birthday money like every month. I think that's what's going on here. Rockstar is just sending out cash, and at this point, I don't even think they care. You are not the first person that has gotten it multiple times. 6 is pretty high. I've gotten it 2 or 3 times, which is not terrible. And then there's some people I know, some of my friends that haven't gotten it at all. I don't know what they're doing wrong to not get the money, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know if Rockstar is just giving us, random deposits of cash to help us prep for what's ever coming next, or if they just don't care anymore and are dropping money in people's accounts randomly. I think this is forever going to be one of the craziest and unsolvable mysteries in Grand Theft Auto Online. But anyways, that's all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this week's Q&A video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. As always, if you want to possibly be featured in the next one, go down in the description. Follow me on Twitter and use the hashtag AskBoss whenever I'm looking for Q&A questions, and you might find yourself featured in the next one. If you guys did go on to enjoy this one, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. Without the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.